Hey guys, today I'm going to show you a couple of things. I'm going to show you the solution to IPG II and how the timeline is based on the 583.9 day synodic period of Venus. The synodic period is the time it takes for an astral body to return to the same angular position from the Sun as seen from the Earth. And that's what we have here when I show you the timeline here. IPG is based on this Venus synodic period. I'm also going to show you the emergency alert system and how there's Venus connections to the emergency alert system as well. And this date of January 26, 2022, connected to both IPG II and the emergency alert system. Right here, this scene in IPG II, we have this eclipse with Osama bin Laden and his mountain men in the background here. Back in April, Bobby Simpson showed me where this eclipse happened and correctly identified the location of the eclipse and also what these mountains in the background represent, and also why Osama's wearing a CIA patch. All these things are connected to the June 21st, 2020 annular eclipse that was seen in India and China. I talk or text Bobby on almost a regular basis, on a daily basis. And a couple weeks ago, I had mentioned to him that it was 2,919 days from the release of IPG to this eclipse, and he immediately knew what that 2919 number was. And we'll get to that and how it connects to the emergency alert system. I just want to mention here that Bobby Simpson found this eclipse, and it kind of brought the whole thing together here. But first, I want to show you the emergency alert system. These are the rituals that I've shown before and that I've found that also connect to Venus. And it just happens to sync up with this date of 1/26/2022. The emergency alert system is the successor to the emergency broadcast system. And this was established on January 1st, 1997. There have been 5 EAS tests. Shown you guys this before. From the first test on 11/9/2011 to the last test on 8/7/2019. It's exactly 404 weeks for the 404 total verses in Revelation. Also, if we look at the emergency alert system, on commercial broadcasts, the attention signal is a two-tone signal of 853 Hertz and 960 Hertz. So if we look at the difference there, 960 minus 853, it's a difference of 107 Hertz. That's an earthquake reference. Earthquake sums to 107 in ordinal gematria. So we have an earthquake reference and a revelation reference contained in the emergency alert system. Now I'm also going to be talking about the golden ratio. The golden ratio is 1.618. And if we look at Revelation 16:18, this is the last reference to an earthquake in the Bible. And there were voices and thunders and lightnings, and there was a great earthquake, such as was not since men were upon the earth, so mighty an earthquake and so great. We'll be talking about this number as well, 1618 and the golden ratio, and other things that are associated with phi. But this is the last reference to an earthquake in Revelation. So that's why we have our 404 weeks between the first and last tests, and our 107 hertz difference between our two-tone signal. These are earthquake and revelation rituals or references. Now the Venus reference that I want to show you guys with the emergency alert system and this date of 1/26/2022. Go from the established date of the EAS to 1/26/22. You can see it's exactly 1,308 weeks. This is a reference to the Venus-Earth orbit ratio that forms the Venus rose, or what's known as the pentagram of Venus. 13 Venus orbits equal 8 Earth orbits, and this forms what's known as the pentagram of Venus. I've documented all the pentagrams of Venus, starting from the June 3rd, 1769 Venus transit. That transit was immediately followed by a total solar eclipse. That's the starting point I've been using for our count. Be referencing the beginning and the end date of the current 32nd Venus pentagram that we're in. A couple months ago I did a video about June 3rd, the June 3rd, 2020 pentagram point, and how it was connected to 9/11 and the golden ratio. One more emergency-related ritual here with this date of 1/26/2022. Ready.gov released Winging It is not an emergency plan. And the Winging It part is a reference to the winged solar disk, the return of the winged sun. Now if we look at this, Ready.gov released this on 8/28/2013. If we go to this date, January 26, 2022, it's 8 years, 4 months, 29 days. And 8429 is the 1054th prime number. That's also a number related to the U.S. nuclear tests. The United States has conducted 1,054 nuclear tests by official count. So when you see the 1,054, that's a reference to the total number of U.S. nuclear tests. Winging It, this is a reference to the wormwood, the winged sun, the winged solar disk. Our 404 weeks for Revelation. Our earthquake reference with the signal. Now if we go back here and look at iPet I'm going to show you the beginning here. Now if we watch the beginning, we have the goat appear here, and we have the 6 lights in the corner. This goat represents the Baphomet. The Baphomet here is the goat with the 666 barcode on its forehead. This represents the physical realm. The downward facing pentagram symbolizes the descent from the spiritual down to the physical realm. And of course, we are in a carbon-based realm. We are on the carbon-based. We're carbon-based beings, 6 electrons, 6 protons, and 6 neutrons in carbon, the physical realm, as opposed to the pointing. A pentagram that points up represents the ascension from the physical realm to the spiritual realm. You can see here they have the goat inside the cage here, inside the barbed wire. We're stuck in the physical realm with the Baphomet. It's called the Baphomet field. We're stuck in here with the goat. So that's why they have this beginning scene here. Shows you that we're in the physical realm. We're stuck in the physical realm. And we have the 6 lights in the corner. I'll show you those 6 lights represent 6 Venus synodic cycles or synodic periods. Now if we look at this scene here, continue on here. When George Bush appears here, he's in the pentagram's spotlight. Another reference to the Venus pentagram. Fast forward here to the destruction of the Twin Towers in the movie. We have our Shiva character who's doing the dance. He's dancing all throughout the I Pet Goat movie. Then we have the scene here with Osama bin Laden and his mountain men. Solar eclipse. And then finally, I'll show you the scene that I've shown before. We have the girl waving the white flag. She's wearing the tiger jacket. This is a reference to the Tiger Year, which starts on February 1st, 2022. It's just 6 days after 1/26/2022. Shows us the Big Bang when she's wearing the tiger jacket. Okay, so let's take a look at this, how this eclipse is the June 21st, 2020 annular eclipse in South China. We just had that a few months ago. This is the picture that Bobby sent me back in April. This is the greatest eclipse point of this June 21st annular eclipse. You can see it's located right near what's called Mount Kailash, which is a peak in China. This is a picture of Mount Kailash. And we have our mountain men with just our snow-capped top, just like Mount Kailash is shown with its snow top and its bare bottom. Now what's special about Mount Kailash is it is supposedly the dwelling place of Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva is always shown wearing or sitting on a tiger. And that goes along with our scene in I Pet Goat, where the girl is wearing the tiger jacket when the fireworks explode. But Mount Kailash is the dwelling place of Shiva, which is represented by our mountains, which is right near the location of the maximum eclipse point of this June 21st eclipse. You can see Osama bin Laden is wearing the CIA patch as well. To go to Google Earth and show you the eclipse and the location here, and how it's related to Osama bin Laden. Okay, if we look here All these markers are on the border of India and China. This is the location in Pakistan where Osama bin Laden was killed. This is the location of the maximum eclipse of the IPET goat eclipse. We have Mount Kailash, the dwelling place of Shiva, and right next to the IPET goat eclipse here is a peak called Nanda Devi, and I have CIA written next to it. So here's our Mount Kailash. Here's our CIA patch. How it makes Nanda Devi significant in its location to the eclipse here. Nanda Devi is the 23rd highest peak in the world. And the reason Osama was wearing a CIA patch is there was a CIA mission in 1965, and their mission was to place a nuclear-powered telemetry relay listening device on the summit of Nanda Devi, and it was designed to intercept signals from Chinese missile tests. And this expedition had to retreat due to dangerous weather conditions, and they had to leave the nuclear device near the summit. And they returned the next spring to search for the device, which ended without success. So they lost 4 pounds of plutonium at the top of the Nanda Devi summit, and it was never found. So all this is encoded into the scene here, the date of the eclipse, the location with Mount Kailash being the dwelling place of Shiva. Shiva is always shown with a tiger. The CIA mission with the lost plutonium at the summit of Nanda Devi, and that was to spy on China. And IPET goat is largely based on a lot of the symbolism is based on the Chinese Zodiac. And if you watch IPET goat, you can see all throughout the movie, we have the Shiva character here dancing all throughout the movie, doing the Lesa and the Tandava, the dance of creation and destruction. And the tiger skin, that represents the victory of divine force over the animal instinct. So that's what we're getting with the symbolism here with Shiva and IPET goat. Now to set the timeline, we're going to go back here and look at the release date. IPET goat was released on June 24th, 2012. That's the Masonic feast day of St. John's Day. St. John the Baptist, who baptized Jesus. That was the release date of IPET goat 2. So the June 21st, 2020 Annular Eclipse. If you look at that date, if you look at those dates, it's 2,919 days. And when I had mentioned that to Bobby, he immediately knew what that number was, 2919. 2919 is 5 Venus Synodic periods. Venus Synodic period is 583.9 days. So 5 Venus Synodic periods are 2919. But right away here in IPET GOAT, we're showing 6 lights. These are 6 points. These are 6 Venus points. So we're going to take our synodic period of Venus times 6. It's 3,503 days. So from the release of IPET GOAT to our date that we were looking at of 1/26/2022, it's 3,503 days. So 6 Venus synodic periods. Six lights, 6 Venus synodic periods. Five periods is 2919. Now if we look at this, I showed you this one already, 1,308 weeks from the EAS. Now if you look at this, I've shown you this before too, if we reverse the dates, most of the world would write 126 as 26/1, 26/1, or 261. That's the frequency that forms the rose cross. In the study of cymatics, the study of frequency and vibration, 261 hertz is middle C, and it forms the rose cross. This is the symbol of the Rosicrucians. Then I have the date here, August 13th, 2023. That completes the 30-second pentagram. Go from 1/26/2022 to the end of the 30-second pentagram. It's 1 year, 6 months, 18 days. The golden ratio, 1.618. So from January 26th to the end of the 30-second Venus pentagram is the golden ratio reference. Also August 13th, 2023, most of the world would write that 13/8. Exact ratio that forms the pentagram of Venus, which encodes the golden ratio in the first place. So now if we go back and look at this Nanda Devi CIA mission, that's shown here in IPET GOAT that they're referencing here. If we look at this mission, it was on October 18th, 1965. Is the day that they abandoned the nuclear device that was going to be used to spy on China. And if we go from the first nuclear weapon used in warfare, to the day that they lost the 4 pounds of plutonium at the summit of Nanda Devi, it was 1,054 weeks. This goes back to our 1,054 nuclear tests. Just like the 8 years, 4 months, 29 days from winging it is not an emergency plan to 1/26. The 1,054th prime. So a lot going on here in this scene of IPET GOAT. 5 Venus synodic points, or synodic cycles. The lost nuclear material at the top of Nanda Devi. They're encoding Shiva, the dwelling place of Shiva, with Mount Kailash. They're giving us the date of June 21st, 2020. The lost plutonium is a ritual in itself to the U.S. nuclear tests, or what would become the total U.S. nuclear tests. Also, what's significant about the tiger symbolism there is on February 1st, 2022, that begins the water tiger. We're moving from the ox year to the tiger year from 1/26 to February 1st. We're moving into the water tiger zodiac, Chinese zodiac. What's interesting about that is water tiger sums to 126. Same as wormwood. In Chinese philosophy, we have the wuxing. We have the 5 elements, the first being wood. The 5th element is water. On February 1st, we're entering the water tiger. Water is associated with metal. Water rusts metal. Water nourishes wood. I'll get into why there's a metal connection here, but this is the last element in the Chinese philosophy of wuxing. First being wood, the last being water. The water tiger in February is also on the Assyrian calendar. February is the month of flooding. So we have the water tiger on February 1st in the Assyrian calendar. February is the month of flooding. And you may have seen this before, but IPG II on 2/22/2017, NASA released this picture of the artist conception of the exoplanets that they discovered and released on 2/22/2017. It resembles the last scene in IPG II. You can see it's water-based. Everything's on water here. And the location of the exoplanets that were discovered, the location of those is in Aquarius. This is the approximate location of TRAPPIST-1 is the name of the exoplanets, the exoplanet system. It's located in Aquarius. I'm going to show you guys this too. This is the June 21st, 2020 eclipse. It's shown in IPG II. This eclipse, if we watch it here, it is moving from Sagittarius to, Taurus to Gemini. Most likely that's why they named it IPG II. It's a reference to Gemini and the eclipse. Okay guys, that's it. I just wanted to show you how this was all based on the Synodic period of Venus. 5 synodic periods, 5 points, which forms the pentagram. And then the 6th point brings us up to the date of 1/26/2022. 1/26/2022 is also codes the golden ratio in reference to the completion of the 32nd pentagram. Okay, guys, thanks for watching.